Many veterans and their families. This legislation is called the PACT Act, and it's going to be expanding health care resources and benefits for some 3.5 million service members who were exposed to toxic burn pits during their years of service. Now, those pits were used to burn things like tires and batteries, explosives, and so much more. And many of the troops who were manning those burn pits developed respiratory illnesses and rare kinds of cancer, and then their coverage was often denied. My next guest is Rosie Lopez Torres, and she knows the struggle firsthand. Now, her husband, who you can see right there, is retired Army Captain Leroy Torres, and he has a lung disease and toxic brain injury from his time in the military. Now, together, they founded an organization called Burn Pits 360 to push for this legislation that is being signed today. And you may have seen this really emotional photo. She shared this moment with activist and comedian Jon Stewart when they learned that the bill had finally passed. He, of course, has been an outspoken voice in raising awareness about this issue. Rosie now joins me from the North Lawn of the White House. She will be attending that ceremony later today. Rosie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know how busy a day it is. It must be an extremely emotional day. You spent more than a decade walking down the halls of Congress, trying to get meetings, having doors slammed in your face, and then you had to take your protest to the steps of the U.S. Capitol, really pleading with lawmakers to get this done. So how does it feel today, knowing that you're about to see the president sign this legislation?
It's surreal. It's a very emotional day for myself and my family, and you're right. We had a lot of doors shut in our face, but we unified, we mobilized, and organized for the past 13 years, and we're just so blessed to finally see this delay and deny tactic end today.
We noted that more than 3.5 million veterans will be impacted. How much do you think this bill will improve their lives?
I mean, drastically, right? This issue impacts them financially, mentally, physically, emotionally. You know, we've had a lot of people take their lives because of this war that followed them home. And my husband attempted to take his life a few years ago when he lost his job and almost lost our home. It's just become such a tragic issue, this injustice. So to know that 3.5 million people, you know, just to know that they'll be helped and they won't have to be begging for help, it just really gives my heart a lot of peace, because I believe that'll decrease the number of suicides that we're seeing in the veteran community.
Of course, this legislation is a major victory. Now it needs to be implemented, and so much of this is going to be coming down to the VA, which of course is where so many veterans get their health care. So what are your concerns there in terms of the next step when they actually go to try to get help?
Yeah, so, you know, we're going to be on top of the implementation, the oversight, and the education that needs to be carried out and executed by the Department of Veteran Affairs and the Department of Defense. I expect full cooperation from both agencies, and we will make sure that we won't have to do another Firewatch, right? That they'll actually do the right thing. And I'm grateful for Secretary McDonough, because he's already put a website out, a platform where veterans can go and access information on how to navigate their benefits and health care.
Acting on this quickly, I want to show our viewers a really touching photo of you. It's not just you, but you're hugging Brielle Robinson. She's the daughter of Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson, who died from lung cancer, and the law is actually named after him. Can you tell us about this moment? She was on Capitol Hill with you to push lawmakers on this legislation.
She's a little hero. She's my hero. Brielle is resilient, and she's strong, and she's just amazing. And we're so grateful to have met Heath, you know, remotely, him when he was undergoing his chemo treatment, and stayed with the family, stayed in touch with the family throughout the whole journey. And to have had Brielle,
this legislation across the finish line.
Right. Look, John Thiel and Jon Stewart are our heroes, right? They, as quickly as they responded to 9/11, it's the same thing they did for our nation's heroes, our nation's defenders. They were instrumental in the success of this. Had we not had John Peel and John Stewart on board, we wouldn't be here today. I 100% believe that. And, they've been with us through the whole journey, and we're just grateful for them because they helped us help 3.5 million of America's veterans. So we want the Medal of Freedom for both of them.
Rosie Torres, this is a big day. It's an important day. I know it's going to be an emotional day. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you so much.
And we just want to remind everyone that veterans can apply for their benefits by visiting va.com/pact.
Alex, she is a force. I think I would want Rosie in my corner on any fight, and I'm sure she will be successful in arguing for them to get the Medal of Freedom. What a remarkable woman.
Just talking to her, you can see why that this legislation finally got done. She clearly is a real force. So it was a real privilege to talk to her.
Well, you're going to see the signing live, everyone here, in less than an hour. It'll be a very meaningful day for so many veterans and their families, of course. Well, still ahead. In Albuquerque, a major development overnight. Police detained a man they say is connected to at least 2 of the 4 ambush-style killings that set off intense fear within the Muslim community.